Do men and women need each other? The reason why I'm making this video is because I once heard somebody say, I heard a man say that um if it wasn't for sex, I heard more than one man say this. If it wasn't for sex, men wouldn't need women. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I can pay, I'm a man, I can take care of myself, pay my own bills. I mean, I can cook my own food, this and that, thus and so. So, I mean, if I can pay my bills, take care of myself, if it wasn't for sex, why would I even need a woman, in the first place? And, when I heard that, it kind of got me to thinking. I'm like, women do say this sometimes. You got a lot of women who say, I take care of myself. I have my own car. I have my own job. I make my own money. I have my own place. What I need a man for? So really on the flip side of things, a woman, can and do say the same thing sometimes, right? So the question is, do men and women need each other? First of all, need is like a necessity. Need is a strong word. When you literally speaking, I would say that if you're single, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like if you stay single, something is gonna automatically happen to you and you're gonna not be able to function no more. Your immune system gonna shut down. So literally speaking, I would have to say no, you don't need, right? But as far as the woman who would say, I already do this, I got this, I got that, I don't need a man. And for a man who would say, I already got this, already got that, I don't need a woman. First of all, I would say most people who say that, they still want a man or a woman. First things first, right? So if you're saying you don't need that, this and that, doesn't, so why do you still want that, right? Secondly, from a natural point of view, right? We have, nobody has to teach us to like somebody, in a romantic, type of way, right? You can be in kindergarten class. The first, you see the little pretty girl you might have a crush on. The girl see the boy who she think is cute and she have a crush on him. They fake boyfriend and girlfriend in kindergarten or whatever, right? Nobody have to teach us that. See, that is still naturally there. See, what a lot of people talk about, they talk about things that's not natural. They're talking about things that society created, right? Like they will bring up, I got my house, I got my car, I got my money. All these things, like I got a certain job. You know what I'm saying? None of these things are natural, right? But they're trying to neglect natural wants with societal things that's been made up, right? The reason why y'all gonna still want each other, or you have a desire for that person, or for somebody, is because it's natural. So now what you're gonna do with that, right? And why is it naturally there in the first place? You see what I'm saying? It's like, how was things before? Think about it, right? Because we were born into this modern society. But this wasn't always like this. You know what I'm saying? Human beings have been around for thousands of years before somebody can go to college, before somebody can make a lot of money, before money was even a thing, right? But we was always still human beings, and we always still naturally had these romantic companionship emotions and feelings and sex drives and so forth, right? So you have to go past your societal norms and the way things, social constructs and things that are set up in your society today. They ain't got nothing to do with that natural man, that natural woman that's inside you, right? This is here for a reason. Those feelings and emotions and stuff like that is there for a reason, naturally speaking, right? And of course, we know that procreation is one of them, right? And of course, we know we want to procreate because, this is offspring you creating with somebody. This is a lifelong thing that's about to take place, right? You want to do that you know, with somebody that you have a real full-fledged commitment type of situation with. I know naturally, well, not naturally at all. I know that today it's common for that not to be done, but ideally it is what's best and it is what people want. But once, you know, the social constructs and social engineering and conditioning and what you done been through, what you done saw kick in, of course, you know, that kind of pervert everything and things get all twisted, and, you know, the abnormal become the norm, and, you know, it just seemed like whatever is abnormal is actually the way to go, when actuality it's just been reversed and flipped around and stuff like that. This and that doesn't so. But ultimately, man, I would say that now, of course, you know, we live in this more modern society where, you know, money is around, jobs are around, houses are around, stuff like that, right? So of course, and, you know, when you're in a relationship, hey, you need money, you need somebody to provide, you need somewhere to stay, this and that doesn't so, don't, you know, of course, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying in modern society that shouldn't factor in, or that, let me say this, that I'm not gonna say that that doesn't play a part in helping somebody to choose, you know, their mate or whatever, right? So, you know, don't get me wrong. But I don't, you know, people stop there. They make that the end all be all when it's not. That's not the bottom line. That's not the foundation. You know what I'm saying? That's more layers up on the surface. These social constructs and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So, that don't let that be the determining factor on whether you need or want a man or a woman. You know, from a relationship point of view, those things is kind of to a certain extent superficial. I'm not saying like hardcore superficial, because like I said, you need those things, don't get me wrong. But to think that, you know, that's the end all be all, and then you still gonna go deal with women, or you still gonna go deal with men, now you just gonna do it with no intention and no purpose, because your intention and purpose is about these things that are in our modern society, which is not naturally connected to that inner romance that's in us, right? You need to, and I said this before, you're going to hear me say it probably a lot more, and I'll say it again. You have to be intentional. You have to be purposeful about what you're going to do with your sex drive and what you're going to do with your romance and emotional feelings, right? Because those things play a part in shaping our family, shaping your neighborhood, shaping society in general. Family is one of the most important things on earth, right? It helps determine how people are going to turn out, who going to live in this world, who going to have jobs, who going to shape views, who going to have influence, and this and that and doesn't so, right? So you talking about societal things like money and I can clean up, I can cook myself. Man, they ain't got nothing to do with how you're gonna be purposeful and intentional about shaping the world with your romance and emotions and sex drive. Cause that's gonna help determine how the world turn out. It just is. So yeah, go past that. Get intentional about your sex drive. Get intentional about who you give your romantic emotions and feelings with, who you share that with. That's of enormous importance. It is.